You've seen the news, you know about the private island, the human trafficking cases, the women putting allegations against him to this day, even though he's dead. Yes, we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, a guy with a really normal standard past and standard background. He's not from a rich family, he's not from a traditionally influential family either. He just got a lot of influence despite being a commoner. We all know the basics of the case. Basically, he had a private island where he was trafficking women while building influence with rich people. Well, that's the basics. Let's talk about stuff we don't necessarily have answers about. Jeffrey Edward Epstein was born in Brooklyn in 1953 to Jewish parents. His mother worked as a teacher's assistant and was quite normal by all accounts. Both of his parents were quite normal, actually. His father worked for the City of New York's Parks Department as a gardener. By all accounts, this family was quite normal and middle class. According to people who knew the young Epstein, he was smart, overweight, and charming. In high school, Epstein was good at maths and reserved and quiet. Yes, he was a reserved guy and quite shy, but he was smart enough to graduate high school 2 years earlier than his peers. That was in 1969. He then joined an off the grid college known as Cooper Union College. Here, Epstein would study math and the tuition was free. He did move to the University of New York after 2 years here, but yeah, we don't talk about that because he didn't finish with any degree. Within a few months after getting out of NYU, he managed to hold a job as a high school teacher for a little bit. He taught at a school for the elite, and the parents of these children used to be businessmen, bankers, and so many other influential people. That's how he first got connected to influential people. But yeah, he wasn't that great of a teacher and he used to dress weirdly, so they basically fired him before he could get into any trouble with the law. So yeah, he was fired in 1976 from his job at this school. But anyways, he basically doesn't look like the person who would fly private jets and rub elbows with the elite within the next few years. He really doesn't look like that. So how did that happen? That's the next focus of this video. Next, he got hired by the giant investment firm known as Bear Stearns as an assistant to a floor trader. He had impressed a few parents of the students of the school he used to work at, so basically he got hired off of their recommendation at Bear Stearns. And let's just say luck was on his side because he joined around 1976 to 1977 as a junior assistant, and soon he was a limited partner by 1981. Just a few months after that, he was asked to either be fired or quit the firm because of an insider trading investigation. After that, he went on to start a bunch of weird businesses, but we won't talk about that because the video is getting too long. Throughout this time, he didn't only start weird businesses, he was also hired by weird businesses. So now we are getting into the mid-90s with Jeffrey Epstein and his story. Many of the people who knew him at this point actually said that he hinted at working for an intelligence agency, but he didn't say which one, whether it was the Mossad or it was the CIA or whatever, we are not sure, because he never specified. He just hinted. So let's go back to the late 80s real quick before continuing this, because that was the time when he actually formed even more connections with rich people by forming a wealth management firm by the name of Epstein & Co. He actually specified that he would not be working with clients with a net worth below $1 billion. His clients included Leslie Wexner, a famous billionaire and a really influential retailer in American history. He's also infamous for owning Victoria's Secret, a weird female underwear brand, which is somehow very popular and famous and really makes a lot of money. And yes, this influential billionaire gave complete control of his wealth to Jeffrey Epstein, all because Epstein was running a wealth management firm and managing the wealth of his clients, which again had to be people who earned $1 billion. Getting back to Jeffrey Epstein, by the early to mid 90s, he was basically so, getting back to Jeffrey Epstein and the 1990s, by the mid 90s, he was basically flying around in his private jet and making friends with influential people like Donald Trump and many other influential individuals who worked with his firm and so on and so forth. And that's when the whole private island human trafficking thing begins, because he basically owned a private island by the name of Little St. James at this point, which was part of the US Virgin Islands, which is US territory. This is the private island and compound in question, and here he would bring girls as young as 16 to 17 and basically ask them to give massages. That would be a pretext. Actually, instead of giving massages, they would basically work as sexual partners for influential people. Some people even say that Donald Trump was involved in this, but we're not sure because Donald Trump had loose association with Epstein at best. And we know for a fact that Prince Andrew from the British royal family took part in these services of Jeffrey Epstein and his girls. You can see this is a photo of Prince Andrew with an underage girl from Epstein's lot, and he's with Ghislaine Maxwell, the associate of Epstein, who basically brought these girls to him under the pretext of the massages.